All the bar vehicle components are protected by the stick plate. Now this vehicle difficult off-road terrain.
Punished for violating the sanctions, but the Department of Justice has indicted a guy for violating sanctions against Russia. Sanctions that were in place after their annexation of Crimea, going back to 2014. And this is a guy who was a founding producer of Fox News, worked with the Hannity show at Fox News for many years. His name is John Hannity.
Comfort and convenience.
And he is charged with violating the sanctions by helping a Russian oligarch set up European television network. And you're not allowed to do that kind of work with those kinds of people. And he, they say, did. Quick sidebar story, and I absolutely love
all the bar vehicle components are protected by the stick plate.
Operation Big Girth. You know, I mean, whatever it is. This one, Biden administration, just a couple of days ago, unveiled a task force to enforce sanctions. And it's Operation...
Nice try whenever you select.
Is that fabulous?
That is good.
That is very clever. Someone came up with that, and I love that.
All right, we now can go
all the
naked in LA County in both places.
Well said.
Thank you. Public Health Director Barbara Freire says masks are strongly recommended still and required in places that are higher risk, like a healthcare facility, prison, jail, public transportation. But in most places in LA County, so bars, restaurants, whatever, you don't have to wear a mask anymore unless the business requires it. And that is still a third.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of businesses still requiring it. A lot of businesses. Why? Because the CDC, everybody strongly recommends masks. So, it'll be interesting to see how many people continue. Yeah. Well, he has been acquitted. Yeah. Officer Brett Hankinson, the only officer charged in the raid that ended with the death of Breonna Taylor, was acquitted by a jury after about, looks like 3 hours of deliberation, which is nothing. And he was charged with reckless endangerment because after Breonna Taylor's boyfriend fired a shot and the cops started firing back and he started firing back, and he was, according to the prosecutors, firing kind of indiscriminately, including into adjacent apartments where there would have been no reason to fire in that direction. But one of the things he testified is, he heard all this gunfire, and he didn't know how much of that gunfire was coming from the police officers and how much was still coming from inside the unit. So he didn't know the level of the firefight that he was in. At the same time, he was outside, and the blinds were drawn, so he was firing blind, if you will, choice of words. And I thought he was going to go down. I did. Because is it reasonable to fire into an apartment, and this was not a house that was separated by yards. This was a dense area of living, apartment, and that's what happened. I mean, thank goodness that the people inside the other apartment were not shot. I mean, and there were bullets whizzing by people's heads. This is you give the benefit of the doubt to the police officer in a tough situation kind of verdict. Except in this case, I thought it was wanton disregard. If he's not being shot at directly, and if he thinks police are being shot at, you can't just shoot. That's like shooting into a crowd or not knowing where you're shooting, and that's what happened here. That's my take on it, and I'm sort of surprised. I think if I were on the jury, of course I don't know all the facts. I didn't sit there for 2 weeks. The way the law was explained to them and what level of mental liability they had to fight. And they said, it wasn't cool what he did, it wasn't smart, but it doesn't rise to the level we have to find. Yeah, that's happens too. And so it's easy for us on the outside to take a story that we look at for 10 minutes and not sit through weeks of testimony.
Yeah, I just got the jobless numbers before we go into this new one, and employers added 678,000 jobs in February, and employment has fallen to 3.8%.
Well, 3.8% means nothing, but the new jobs that are added mean a lot.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Yeah. But that's good news.
Yeah, and they say it's all because of the cases of Omicron going on.
That makes sense.
Tears out.
All right, the LA County DA's office has filed felony charges against a former LA County Sheriff's deputy for this fatal on-duty shooting 3 years ago. So Andrew Lyons and this other deputy respond to this apartment complex in Willowbrook about a guy in a car. Well, the guy put the car in reverse, and both deputies fired at him. But prosecutors say that Lyons then fired an assault rifle after the car had stopped moving, killing the man.
Yeah, that's a no-no. I mean, that one is easy. I don't know how he's going to get away with this one in terms of the jury. I think he's going to have a hard time. I'm willing to bet there'll be some kind of plea here. Almost has to be.
If the car was still moving, that would have made a difference.
Well, certainly, but if it's moving away from the cop and there's no longer any threat, even if he says, what do you say? It's moving away. I thought it was moving towards me. I thought that people in front of the car were in danger. There was no one in front of the car. So, and he was shot in the back. That's a tough one to defend. So, you remember police blotter morning. Yeah. Well, this didn't take long. The man who had been accused and charged with murdering philanthropist Jacqueline Avant and attempting to kill a security guard during that home invasion in Beverly Hills in December, now we no longer have to say accused. He pled guilty to first-degree murder, attempted murder with regard to a security guard, and possession of a firearm by a felon, and 2 counts of first-degree residential burglary with the person present. And it's an open plea. There's no agreement about anything. The judge can do whatever they want. Could get 170 to life. I would not be surprised. I wish I knew the temperament of this judge. I mean, to me, this is a life case, given his history. And remember, isn't this a case where he then shot himself? Later while trying to perpetrate another robbery after murdering a woman. And he wasn't done for the night. No, and he shoots himself in the foot. But he obviously sees, the writing on the wall that there's no way he's getting out from under this anyway. And I think what you end up with is, this is the defense argument for a lower sentence. At least he pled guilty and took responsibility and didn't waste everybody's time in the trial. Please give him a break. So instead of 176 years, he's going to get 150 years. Give him 100 years. Yeah. So, but he's eligible for parole because this is a state crime after 50% with good time served on good behavior. So 176 divided by 2 is 80 something. Yeah, like 85 years. Yeah, 85 years. Yeah, he'll be in jail. No, he will almost certainly die in prison. Also, he's one of these guys where you don't immediately recognize a security risk with him. But because of the Avants and who the Avants were, there will be people inside who very much do not appreciate him victimizing them this way. Yeah. Because she was beloved and a philanthropist, and of course her husband was a massive presence in the music industry. I hope or maybe I don't care if they properly house him. Here's Jennifer Jones-Lee live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
UN and Ukrainian officials say no radiation has been released from a Ukrainian attack at Europe's biggest nuclear power plant in Ukraine. Aaron Katersky says the attack is unprecedented.
This is the first war where a nuclear facility has really been caught in the crossfire, so there were some very tense moments overnight.
Firefighters should put out the fire that broke out after Russian artillery shells exploded near the site. UNICEF says about 500,000 children have been forced to flee their homes in Ukraine over just the past week. LA County residents no longer have to wear masks at restaurants, bars, gym shops, and other businesses. The CDC says new data released yesterday puts LA County at the lowest level of virus transmission. Business owners have the option to require masks for both customers and employees. A man's been arrested in Boyle Heights after leading police on a pursuit. The man driving the blue SUV rear-ended another car last night near Soto Avenue in the 5. He then jumped out of the SUV and ran off while the SUV was still moving. He tried to hide under a UPS truck before giving up. He apparently was wanted for robbery. The FAA says there's been a 41% increase in pilots reporting lasers pointed at them during flight.
It messes up their focus, it messes up their concentration, and potentially could be physically hurt them. And at the worst case scenario, it's cause a crash. It's very serious.
San Diego Flight Training International's Phil Stahlheimer says the FBI investigating all cases now. They're pointing at a laser at any aircraft, regardless of size and strength, is a federal crime. U.S. Navy says it's recovered the warplane that fell into the South China Sea in January. The F-35C fell into the sea during a landing error. Now it's going to go to a nearby military installation as the investigation into the incident continues. Multiple U.S. military members were hurt during the incident, which took place on the deck of the aircraft carrier of the USS Carl Vinson. And a game show host is sticking up for some bird-brained contestants.
Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak is defending Laura, Christopher, and Thomas for tanking a puzzle that was almost finished.
Another feather in your hat.
Sajak went to social media saying that close but no cigar guest threw everyone off, and it just got worse.
In your lap.
Laura's a high school dean of students.
In your lap.
After 8 turns and 10 attempts, Thomas put everyone out of their misery.
Another feather in your cap. Yeah, there you go.
All 3 got hit hard on social media. Sajak says it's tough to see nice people get ridiculed when they make a mistake. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
Ouch. And a man who spent 7 years walking around the world is on his way back to New Jersey. Tom Turchik left his family's home in 2015, a day before his 26th birthday. He's walked more than 25,000 miles, but never made it to Australia because of the pandemic. He picked up a puppy and a girlfriend along the way and is due back in Jersey in mid-May. He says he plans to spend about a year writing a memoir. We got an update on the 101 right after Sports with Wayne.
There's been no movement in the baseball lockout, but the 2 lead bargainers met for about 90 minutes yesterday to set plans for further negotiations. And citing recent trends, the NFL has suspended all of its COVID-19 protocols. The league's decision was based on current CDC guidance, changes in various state and local laws, and advice from legal counsel. I'm Ian Eisner, KFI Sports.
SoCal weather from KFI. Showers today with a slight chance of thunderstorms and highs in the upper 50s to the 60s. Then a chance of showers lingers through tomorrow, but we should be sunny and warmer starting Sunday into Monday. Let's get an update on the 101.
Well, you bet, Jeff. You just joined us now. I got to warn you about this Southbound 101. The Hollywood Freeway is what we're talking about when you come through the Cahuenga Pass. Now, the freeway itself is starting to back up as you come out of the Cahuenga Pass around Sunset Boulevard. The problem has been since early morning. South 101, the Melrose off-ramp, is what's shut down. There's a lot of police activity, and now there was a car or a trash bin on something going on. Fire department's down there, a lot of smoke. So, use Vine Street, Santa Monica Boulevard, Vermont, anything except the Melrose off-ramp. And again, it's starting to back up because of that. The South 101 after that is in pretty good shape. Even northbound, the 4 level is good. The South 5 coming out of Burbank, if that's where you are right now, pretty easy drive this Friday morning, no problems there. The northbound side, we saw that earlier, coming up from the 605. Got some volume to it, that's for sure, but everybody's moving. We're headed to what could be a serious problem, headed to Cerritos or through Cerritos. Westbound 91 at the 605, there's something going on there. I'm going to check it out for you and let you know. Jeff Bond, KFI in the sky.
Here's today's smart money tip from Owning. Call 833-2-OWNING or go to owning.com to find out more about this amazing offer. Have you ever kept your 30-year mortgage for more than 10 years? If you're like most people, the answer is no. Then why are you overpaying for a loan you probably won't keep? Introducing the Smart Money Loan by Owning. With an interest rate of 2.375% fixed for the first 10 years, 2.819 APR. Lock in your rate for how long you'll probably keep the loan. Lower your rate and payment and save thousands in interest. Call 833-2-OWNING to log in a 2.375% rate, 2.819 APR today. Or visit owning.com.
NMLS 2611, subject to credit approval. Savings may vary. Call 833-303-2169 for licensing and qualifying terms and conditions. Equal housing lender, not licensed in all states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
That's 833-2-OWNING or owning.com.
I'm attorney Darren Kavanoki from 1-800-NO-CUFFS. Can you do the alphabet backwards? Z, Y, X, W, V. Yeah, try doing that by the side of the road. So if you get pulled over, don't wing it. Call us at 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Getting a Tesla Model 3 can take months, but at Autonomy, you can get one in as little as a week. I'm Scott Painter, CEO of Autonomy. Autonomy is a whole new way to access the Model 3 with no long-term commitment required. For full terms, check us out at autonomy.com.
NBC News is streaming free on NBC News Now.
Watching NBC News Now, here's what's happening.
Look at what's making headlines around the world. Breaking news now.
Let's get the very latest.
Now to an NBC News exclusive.
On the ground and all over the world now.
And this is a significant moment.
There's a lot to talk about this evening.
Whenever it happens, wherever you are, NBC News is streaming free on NBC News Now.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Donate your car today with 1877 Cars for Kids. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights. Also on the web at carsforkids.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The dawn of a new thrill has arrived. Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Southern California's #1 casino now offers even more for you to discover. With an all-new stunning 17-story hotel topped by the rooftop Y Lounge featuring panoramic views and sweeping vistas, a luxury spa and posh pool oasis, tempting culinary and cocktail experiences, and over 6,500 slots, the most on the West Coast. Awaken your sense of discovery. Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel.
There's a lot of COVID info out there, but not all of it's true. So it's important to remember the facts. Do COVID-19 vaccines give people the virus? Nope. It's actually the opposite. Vaccines teach our cells how to fight COVID-19. And just like other vaccines, COVID-19 boosters help keep our immunity strong. Share the facts, not the virus. Find a vaccine near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Go solar with local and veteran-owned Semper Solaris. Visit sempersolaris.com.
For official rules and more information about contests of this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules. KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, Bill Handel on a Monday, March 4th. And we continue with... Pretty sure it's Friday. Oh, why did I say Monday? Because I'm already ahead of the game. Thank you. You're probably right.
Either because you live in the past, or you're
I live in
always
the future.
looking ahead to the future.
Good point.
And if you're in the past, that's regret.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at the future, that's worry.
Well said.
And you need to be here in the moment and mindful and practice gratitude also,
Oh,
please.
good God, that's vomitous.
I have no expectation that you will.
But I have an explanation, okay?
Mhm.
As you know, on the board, the whiteboard, I always have the date and the day. Right? That to remind me, because I just don't pay attention to the date and the time, etc. And look it up there. Isn't Monday spelled Friday?
Well, no, but I will admit, to your credit, you have never been accused of being a spelling champion.
Okay, fair enough. Why don't we do it, guys? See, we take a little mistake and we blow it all out of proportion. Fair enough. Let's do it. More Handle on the news, Jennifer, Wayne, and me.
Remember the name Sherry Papini?
Yeah.
She is the woman from Reading who was arrested on charges of lying to federal agents about being kidnapped and defrauding the state's victim compensation board of $30,000. She's now been arrested by the FBI, and it's because of those things that I just mentioned, by the way. And turns out Sherry Papini had claimed, remember she said that she was taken by 2 Hispanic women and they branded her.
Yeah, it's a great long story.
Turns out she was with her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, I know, and the story is, there's a lot to it. I'm going to do it at 7:50.
Oh, good, because it's so
It's just one of those wild stories, including a branding.
Yes.
So, what herd did she belong to? Well, the branding helped.
I mean, we got a lot of cattle in Reading.
Yeah.
But,
Good point.
More trouble for the school district in Rialto over accusations that they don't report sexual assaults to the police. One of the students who says her reporting of a sexual assault were ignored has filed a legal claim against the district, which is the precursor to a lawsuit. She apparently reported that a 17-year-old boy had sexually and verbally assaulted her, and the lawyer says her complaints went unheeded, and then she broke down in class after another verbal confrontation with this kid she says has been abusing her. And the teacher said, you should report this to the school. And she said, I already told them and they didn't do anything.
Oh, they did more than not do anything, according to her. The vice principal said, just boys will be boys kind of thing. And if you keep on reporting this, you're going to be expelled. It's tough. And I don't know if any of that is true.
Yeah.
But it's a hell of an accusation.
So the point is, here comes the court action.
Oh, yeah.
The school is not going to be able to stonewall, because if there's a lawsuit, there's going to have to be discovery, and they're going to have to reveal what they did or didn't do.
All right. So proponents say that the passage of this new bill would help to boost the number of state healthcare workers who can legally perform abortion procedures. It is a bill introduced by State Senate Leader Tony Atkins that would let some nurse practitioners perform abortions without a doctor's supervision.
Yeah, now, a couple points about that. A nurse performing an abortion, oh my God, medical procedure. But let's talk about the medical procedure. It is one of the simplest medical procedures that exist. The complication rate is minuscule. Nurse practitioners are allowed to give anesthesia in this state. Anesthesiologists spend 5 years in residency. It is far more dangerous to apply anesthesiology than it ever would be to perform an abortion. And so
these are only first trimester.
Right, first trimester abortions, yeah, because as you go later on, then it becomes a more complicated medical procedure and the risk goes up dramatically. So this is, if you look at it just medically, this is no issue. If you look at it politically, but this is California. So California's going to pass laws that will allow abortion before someone gets pregnant. I mean, that's, welcome to California.
As opposed to Florida, which their state senate just passed a bill with a 15-week time period for abortions, and no abortions after that. West Virginia's done it, Arizona's done it, a number of states have done it.
Yeah.
And Mississippi was the first one out of the box with the 15-week abortion ban, and it is in front of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, Texas 6 weeks, which is before even a woman knows she's pregnant. And DeSantis, what a shocker that DeSantis, of course, is going to sign this thing. Now, I don't know if Florida has a line item veto the way California does, where the governor of California can literally go through and eliminate a provision within a bill. DeSantis have the ability to eliminate the 1 in 15 and just cross it out. Yeah, make it fine. And I don't know the answer to that, but he would in a heartbeat if he could.
All right, there's a former TSA agent at LAX who was arrested for drug smuggling. And here's what happened. So you had these undercover cops hand this guy, Michael Williams, in a bathroom, so underneath the stall. They gave him what he thought was meth. And he was supposed to take the meth in exchange for $8,000 to another bathroom on the secure side of LAX and then, hand it to somebody under the stall kind of thing. Well, he got it it was a bag that didn't have meth in it, from an undercover cop, and he took that bag through security to the other bathroom and handed it to another undercover cop.
Yeah.
Problematic.
It is problematic. So his federal career, his career with the feds is kind of on hold right now. On hold? Well, permanently, like forever, right? We're coming back.
Know your buyer,
yes.
dealers. Know your buyer.
Yeah, coming up, finishing handle on the news. But first, Jennifer Jones-Lee live from the Kfi 24-hour newsroom. Jennifer.
Well, Russia's forces have attacked Ukrainian troops at Europe's biggest nuclear plant, setting part of the plant on fire. The U.S. Embassy in Ukraine is calling it a war crime. Russia's attack on Ukraine is putting more pressure on the nation's economy. Moody's Investor Service has cut the Russian government's long-term debt rating to junk status. Moody's also dropped the ruble to not prime in its short-term rating. And a proposed state bill, as we were talking about, would let some nurse practitioners perform abortions without a doctor's supervision. The bill from Senate Leader Tony Atkins seeks to boost the number of state healthcare workers who can legally perform abortion procedures. We'll get a look at the 91 in just a moment.
Over 35 million Americans have some level of dental anxiety, all the way from, oh my God, I'm kind of afraid, to full-blown panic. Well, Dr. Cunning and the Cunning Dental Clinics have been clinic has been specializing in people that have severe dental anxiety ever since Dr. Cunning started his practice 53 years ago. And not only do they have a great chair-side manner, but they'll also do your dental work while you sleep, either a gentle twilight sleep or full-blown anesthesia. So those years, those decades of neglect wrapped up in one or two appointments. You wake up to a new, beautiful smile, good dental health, and they do it all. The dental implants, the crowns, the root canals, the full smile makeovers, of course, the new permanent teeth in a day procedure done while you sleep. You get up to $1,500 off major treatments. This expires April 30. Restrictions apply, and you get a free exam, x-rays, and CT scan. Call 888-640-SMILE, 888-640-SMILE.
SoCal weather from KFI. Showers today with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Highs will be in the upper 50s to the lower 60s. This report is brought to you by Indeed.com. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places like the 91.
Keith Batship, if you were listening last time around on Head This Way, I got good news for you. This is if you're going towards Cerritos, I guess. But it's the westbound 91, the Artesia Freeway after 605, actually just passed. There's a lot of cars, CHP, tow trucks, the whole routine. But thankfully, they're all over to the shoulder now. So it's a little slow approaching now, but really not too bad. Westbound drive actually just stays, morning drive slow over towards the 110. I think you'll be okay. South 101, the Hollywood Freeway at Melrose, that off-ramp has been blocked all morning long. The South 101 getting slow from the Sunset Boulevard. We're going to go over and recheck it. We're on the 710 right now, which is still in pretty good shape. So more coming up. Jeff KFI in the sky.
If cold candidate calls aren't turning into hot hiring leads, then you need Indeed, because Indeed's powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates, all from one place. Find your next great hire visiting Indeed.com/credit.
This report is sponsored by Caliber Garage Doors.
Make Caliber Garage Doors your #1 choice for new garage doors. Right now, $200 off, as low as $699 installed, including free bottom seals and haul away. I'm Jared Buckaloo, president of Caliber Garage Doors, and I personally guarantee will be any advertised price. CaliberGarageDoors.com. CaliberGarageDoors.com.
We are the federal agency that is responsible for the nation's call to volunteering and service.
Michael Smith is the CEO of Americorps.
Americorps as a federal agency goes back to the early part of President Clinton's administration, but we go back way even further than that. So we are the home, for instance, of the National Civilian Community Corps, which has its roots in WAP programs under FDR.
He says that national history of volunteering and helping those in need has him often thinking about both the past and the future.
When we think about charitable work, we confuse activity for impact. We confuse the number of bowls of soup handed out with, what's happening with the problems of hunger.
Michael says the pandemic was a new challenge, but volunteers stepped up.
There was not a minute during this crisis that we've gone through where Americorps went away. Americorps has been in those communities. They've stayed with those communities. They're still there, and they'll be there 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Those interested in service tomorrow or for a year or more should go to Americorps.gov.
When Bill and I needed new windows over 20 years ago, we picked a company we thought would do a good job. We were so disappointed.
So we saw a genuine need for a company with strong character, one that people could have faith in.
American Vision Windows was born right then and there.
The best thing about working for American Vision Windows, and with customers specifically, is having their dreams come true. And we try to accomplish the best job we can to make them happy.
It was a great experience. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
I've been in the construction trade for 35 years. The level of quality of products that they use for their prep work was top-notch.
American Vision Windows continues to revolutionize the home improvement industry, one customer at a time, while changing the lives of our employees for the better. It's so simple.
Happy employees, happy customers.
0% interest, 0 payments until 2023. Call 888-226-9908. That's 888-226-9908 or visit AmericanVisionWindows.com. On approved credit, not all applicants will qualify. Cannot be combined with any other offers. New customers only. Restrictions apply. Call or see website for details. Offer expires 3/31/2022. CSLB number 778326.
If you have rats in your attic or walls, don't make the mistake of putting out poison or wasting money with a company that charges you monthly to check rat traps. Rat Proof. For a one-time fee, Rodent Stop will identify and seal all rat entry points, trap and remove all rats, sanitize your attic to remove any nasty viruses, and remove and replace all rat nest-infested attic insulation. Rodent Stop is so confident that they can stop your rat and mice problems that they provide a lifetime guarantee. Read all the 5-star reviews on Yelp.
If you have rats or mice in your house or business, call Rodent Stop at 800-290-5343. 800-290-5343. We provide fast, friendly, and effective rodent control solutions throughout Southern California. Plus, our technicians are clean, friendly, and always on time. To stop the rodents, call Rodent Stop at 800-290-5343. Open 24 hours. Call 800-290-5343.
When forks first came into Europe, they were declared the work of the devil.
If you keep talking crap about forks, I'm going to smack your face.
Well, they are the devil's work.
Yeah, it is funny. Talk about the Elvis Presley of utensils before. You couldn't show it from waist down. It just was always demonized.
The Fork Report with Neil Saavedra tomorrow afternoon at 2 on KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
And this is KFI AM 640 Handle here on Friday, March 4th. Got the day right this time, right?
Yes, you did.
Let's finish Handle on the news. Jennifer, Wayne, and me. So you remember we talked about the TSA agent busted for selling meth? Well, a postal worker has admitted to stealing about $40,000 worth of sports cards. Paul Robinson is his name. He is from Richmond, Missouri. And he admitted in federal court that he stole that mail. Yep. And if he is, for his sake, he hopes that they were all counterfeit, so the value is nothing. But it's not. And here's the thing. Because I don't know why he thought he would get away with it. If you order a $1,900 Kevin Durant card, and it does not get delivered to you, you're going to complain, and they are going to investigate. And they did. And he got caught. Oh, he also, just as a cherry on the cupcake for this guy, he also admitted sometimes he didn't steal the mail. Some mail he just took home and destroyed.
I just, 2 weeks ago, watched this Lifetime movie with Eric Roberts about this guy who lived in the attic of a house, and he would sneak down at night and, look at the women that lived in the house, right? Then, and I kind of thought to myself, oh my God, that never happened. Until I read this story.
It happened.
Stalker guy hid in this woman's attic and then would sneak out at night to film her sleeping, made copies of her house keys. So there's this guy, Mauricio Damian Guerrero, who became totally obsessed with an OnlyFans model that he was talking to online, and he started stalking her. So then, somehow he made copies of her keys, and he would go into her attic, wait for her to fall asleep, creep downstairs, and film her. And apparently the cops say that he had just disturbing stuff on his phone that he had taken of the woman while she slept naked.
How did he get her keys? Yes, unless she was no. Yes, unless she was asleep. He left the keys, maybe, and broke in the house one night. Maybe took the keys, and then I can't think of any other time. Got a locksmith at 2 a.m. to make a copy of the keys and put the keys back, or just took the keys and she thought she lost her keys. Could be, but if you am fascinated for the details. But if you lose your key, don't you relock or reconfigure the lock? I can attest to that. I misplaced my keys. And I didn't know where they were. Immediately had a locksmith come out and rekey, and then 2 days later I found them sitting in a they were right there. Yep. Here's a weird one. Yes, so there's a school bus driver who was swabbing the inside of kids' cheeks and getting money from them.
I'm sorry.
And they were investigating. I think he paid them money. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. He gave them money to be quiet. Or to agree to let him swab their cheeks, and so there's a big investigation trying to figure out what the hell is this all about. Yep, and he paid him $5 per swab. And I love this that they went. This is in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, in North Carolina. So they went to the CEO of a testing company called StarMed as part of the investigation, and they went, so if you were going to test somebody for COVID-19, is that how you would do it? And they got the CEO to say, no, that is not how you would do it. I guess to rule out that there could have been a legitimate reason. That makes sense to me. What a weird perversion.
All right, about a week and a half ago, we heard Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds saying that they were going to match $1 million in donations to help the people of Ukraine. Now it's Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher who have launched this fundraiser for the people in Ukraine and say they will match $3 million. But this is super personal to her because Mila Kunis was born in Ukraine in 1983 and came to America in 1991. And she said, I've always considered myself a proud American. I love everything about this country that it's done for myself and my family, but today I've never been more proud to be a Ukrainian.
And this is for Airbnb in the area for housing is where this money is going to, and in Poland for the most part, in Hungary. And I wonder how much the owners of the property are charging. Because, and I don't know if they're doing it at very low cost, you would think so. A lot are doing for free. A lot of people are putting people in their homes for free. My daughter came up to me and she said that you want to give some money to a GoFundMe camp. Or just we want to send some money to help house the refugees. And so you want to help them, you do it.
So they took your credit card, right?
They always do. Of course they do. Yes.
You do it because you take the credit card.
But the world is
coming.
But the world is coming to the table big time. These countries are coming to the table. The U.S.